Hi, third grade. I hope that you're having a warm snow day, e-learning day. Hopefully you're staying, like I said, warm and safe and out of this terrible weather. But at least we get to join each other virtually. For reading today, we're going to be focusing, our unit is traditional lit, but we're going to be focusing on fables, specifically determining the problem that are in fables. Your actual work will Your activity that you have to complete will be on character traits within fables. So let's get started. So good readers know to determine the problem in order to understand the story. So we've been really focusing on, in realistic fiction, the story mountain and understanding problems. But now in traditional lit, we can also understand the story more fully by understanding the problem within the story. And these stories are very short, so you get hit with the problem right away. We figure out problems all the time in life. You can't figure out a solution without first understanding the problem. So for us to be able to fix something, we first need to know what the problem is. Just like in life, similarly in our books, we have to figure out what the problem is before we can find a solution. So we can't do a turn and talk. But what's the problem here? We're looking at this picture. These cars are snowed in, right? So before we can figure out a solution to this problem, we first need to know what the problem is. The problem is these cars can't get out because the snowplow was keeping us safe, plowing off the roads. Consequently, the cars got kind of snowed in. What's the problem in this picture? I'm sure we can all relate to a similar situation here, maybe at home or at daycare. I hope you're saying the problem is that these kids didn't want to share, right? They both want the same toy. The problem is there's only one of those dinosaurs, and they both apparently want it at the same time. So for them to come up with a solution, they first need to know what the problem is. The problem is they both want the dinosaur. So now that we kind of went across a couple real life examples, I want us to get into the lion and the mouse. Okay? The Lion and the Mouse is a fable. This fable is located within your packet that I sent home. Okay. I will apologize. I did not number the pages at the bottom. So you're going to have to just kind of look through it. If you go one page by one page, you'll see that there's a story, and then there's about 2 pages that come with activities, 2 to 3 pages that are activities, maybe even more. Yeah, there it was like 3. But this story, The Lion and the Mouse, is about halfway through your packet. So it's going to be on the other side here. So it looks like this. So if you want to pause me, go ahead and pause so that way you can kind of follow along. I will read this one out loud, but you're going to want to have this out in front of you. All right, so here is the fable, The Lion and the Mouse. So I want you to follow along, listen as I read. A lion lay asleep in the forest, his great head resting on his paws. A timid little mouse came upon him unexpectedly, and in her fright and haste to get away, ran across the lion's nose. Roused from his nap, the lion laid his huge paw angrily on the tiny creature to kill her. "Spare me," begged the poor mouse. "Please let me go, and some day I will surely repay you." The lion was much amused to think that a mouse could ever help him, but he was generous and finally let the mouse go. Some days later, while stalking his prey in the forest, the lion was caught in the toils of a hunter's net. Unable to free himself, he filled the forest with his angry roar. The mouse knew the voice and quickly found the lion struggling in the net. Running to one of the great ropes that bound him, she gnawed means chewed, it until it parted, and soon the lion was free. "You laughed when I said I would repay you," said the mouse. "Now you see that even a mouse can help a lion." So, A lot going on in here, but we first need to think, what is the problem? What's the lesson in the story? Who learns the lesson? What were the characters like at the beginning, at the end? What changed, and what was the problem? So I'm thinking out loud with you. I think the lesson in the story is, what, what do you think? I'm thinking of kind of like our character Ed is kindness. Kindness never goes unnoticed. Okay? The mouse was kind and repaid the lion and saved him. He would have died if it wasn't for the mouse. Um, the lion showed kindness by not killing the mouse in the beginning. So kindness kind of goes a long way. That's what I think the lesson is. Who learns the lesson? Well, I think the lion learns the lesson. I think the mouse knew it all along, but I think the lion really learned the lesson. The character at the beginning of the story was the lion was kind of, he felt like he was the biggest and the baddest animal. At the end, he realized that even a mouse could help a lion. Now, what was the problem? At first, we think that the problem is the lion getting trapped. Okay, yeah, that's a problem. But what's the big problem? If we dig deeper, the actual problem is that the lion is really arrogant or rude. He learns a lesson. The mouse helps him solve his problem, and that was something that he didn't think that the mouse would ever be able to do. If you identify how a character changes, it might help you to figure out the problem. So we learned that the character at the beginning of the story was very arrogant, but at the end, I think he learned his lesson, that he realized that even a mouse could help the lion survive. All right. So this sheet is just the next sheet in your packet. We're going to do it together. I'm hoping my writing tool works. Um, so, mouse, describe the character. What's one thing we could say is, I'm thinking of some traits. I'm thinking brave. You gotta spare me. I'm trying to do this with my mouse. And I think brave, and I think trustworthy. Now, brave, I think the mouse showed bravery in a few different ways. One way that and I'm not going to write this all in, I'd like it if you'd write it in. I'll just kind of abbreviate it. So the mouse showed bravery when she chewed the rope, right? Because the hunters could have gotten the mouse. So chewed rope. Okay, I think that the mouse was very trustworthy because she kept her promise. I'm just going to write promise. She kept her promise. She's very trustworthy. Even though the lion didn't think she would keep her promise, she actually did. Now let's go to the lion. I'm going to use that word we used just a minute ago. Arrogant, meaning he thinks he's the greatest. Okay. And when did he show this arrogant attitude? Well, I think that he showed this arrogance when he thought the mouse wasn't going to repay him, right? Arrogant when he saved the mouse, right? When he saved the mouse, he said, how could a mouse ever repay me? Okay, that's showing arrogance. But what else can we say about the lion? I think we could say that the lion, um, I think we can say at the end that the lion was very trusting. And when I say trusting, he means I think he learns his lesson and he believes that, yeah, I should probably start trusting people when they say things to me. So believe mouse. Or believe others. Um, because at the beginning he didn't believe the mouse. And she really pulled through, and the mouse followed through with her promise. So I think that caused the lion to change and become a trusting individual. So, your job, I gotta erase this. So, what are you gonna do for your job today? Well, it's very similar to what we just did together, except with a new story. So, you're first going to read The Hare and the Tortoise, and I made it easy for you. The Hare and the Tortoise is the first story in the packet. So, you're first gonna read this whole thing. It's 6 paragraphs. And then after that, you're going to complete the page that follows. And the page that follows is just like the page we just did, where, and it's up on the screen as well, okay, but it's just the page that follows. You're going to come up with 2 traits to describe the tortoise, and then evidence from your story, and then 2 traits to describe the hare, and then evidence from the story, okay? And you will do this in your um, seesaw. Okay, I have the in your seesaw in your language arts. I have this activity um, posted, so you can just go ahead, and I want everybody to type. I don't want you to use the writing tool. I didn't have a writing tool on mine as an option, so that's why I used the drawing tool. But you all have the typing tool in your seesaw, so I'd like you to use that. Okay. If you have any questions, go ahead and join that Google link. Okay. But I want you, before you think that you don't know, I want you to make sure you read the story again. Okay. So always maybe read it. You should always read it twice. Try it on your own, and then definitely ask for help if you're still confused. Okay. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for working hard.